Hey there, in this video, since I never actually made a video reaction, I will react to my DNA result update from a few days ago. I saw them 18th of August, which is today, but video most likely will be uploaded tomorrow or today, the 19th. So what did I think of my results as my authentic reaction? Did I expect them? Or were there ethnicities that totally blew my mind from them being totally unexpected? Stick around to find out. First, my background. I'm 100% Puerto Rican, which also includes all newer immigrations of peoples. I guess I obviously look mixed, but people will call me Indiecito, apart from my own family, verbally confirming we have Taino heritage. My family comes from all corners of the island, and from what I hear in all sides of my family, some have Taino ancestry, and some more than others. I was fully versed onto my family's history and Puerto Rico's history, which helped a lot with my predictions. All for except one great grandfather who was said to be Taino, but today I kinda unveil who he really was phenotypically. So in fact, we kinda knew we had Afro-Boricua heritage, but things didn't turn out the way you would expect. They told me three key things. First one suggests Taino heritage. His hair was super straight and he was more on the non-sub-Saharan phenotype. But the next two didn't go past my trained mind. He was also tall and he was also described as super dark. But like I said, his phenotype stayed with him and did not cross onto my grandfather for the most part. As for my predictions, I had a solid guess for my Taino at 15 to 20%. My family said we had Taino ancestry. So my question was, can I explain my phenotype? After becoming very sharp at Spanish history, I started to notice my physical differences. I analyzed probably 15 of my last names. It's noteworthy that I predicted myself to be at least half Spanish and mostly Caucasian. And that being said, let's get to the reaction segment. In my last results, Spain was always my highest ethnicities, but this time Portugal at 25%. I didn't expect so much Portuguese DNA and to think that I was actually a quarter Portuguese. And also little that I know, before all this, years and years ago, Brazilian Portuguese became my fourth language. I used to be called Brasil in my soccer days, being compared to Brazilian Ricardo Kaká and Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo. And now, we know why. 24% for Spain. I absolutely love Spain's history, but I now seem to be a quarter too at 24%. I guess that makes me half Iberian. That's also pretty legit. In the past, I was learning Catalan and would memorize all the provinces. Actually, one of my last names connects me to Cáceres in Extremadura. I read one of my last names down in the line is Castro, which connects me to Celtiberian culture. We indeed have many last names that are Spanish, but of Latin origin and Celtic origin. With these ethnicities, I am highly positive I carry strong Neolithic farmer and bell baker related to the pastoralist of the Russian steppe, pertaining the Celts of Spain. 17% Taino, which is Native American of the Caribe. This one is a shocker, when at first it said I was only 17% Native American. With this new update, I'm now 18% Native American. But it's really not a shocker. More Taino history flooded my ears from parts of my family that I wasn't expecting. From my dad's side, a lineage was obvious, along with others. But most notably, the lineage from my mother to her mother is by far one of the most Taino, if not the most. So I calculated my grandmother's mother to be possibly a mestizo at maybe 50% Taino, more or less. And her mother possibly being a pure Taino of Sabana Grande. So the result was 17% Taino, 18% Native American, and at one point, ancestry estimation feature suggested that at a highball, I can be anywhere between 16 to 24% Native American. This new update should have it similar. This would confirm my predictions and some. And also, the strong influence of this Taino of mitochondrial origin is higher cemented by my mother, who resulted as 22% Taino. How's that of a high number for somebody who really wasn't truly sure? Like my mother. Upon this point, my ethnicities are still a great quantity, but are from 6% and lower. You know kind of what the three solid Spain, Portugal, and Taino mean, right? If I only share their phenotypes, then physically I can easily be a third Taino. Not to say I don't share phenotypes with these subdivided ethnicities, but I can clearly see a pattern of three solid results. And then I see my admixtures. 6% Cameroon, Congo, and Western Bantu peoples. So you know I keep bringing that heat from sub-Saharan Africa. I also associate this with my slave history, but it's clearly two ethnicities from different lineages, and that's why they are divided. Maybe I would have more Afro-Boricua phenotypes if they were more chunky, like over 15 or 20 solidly, and not divided. 6% Senegal. Like I said, I knew I had Afro-Boricua, and I know some of my Taino ancestors were clustered as slaves together with the black slaves. 4% Basque. I always had mad love for Euskera. Gotta love that Spanish history of Euskadi. Actually, my grandmother's maiden name is Vasquez, so we imagined. This also means strong Western hunter-gatherer DNA, higher than normal Iberian. 3% Africa North. So I wondered who were they, and in fact they connected to the Guanche of Las Islas Canarias, which I imagine is where I'm getting a lot of Mediterranean blood from. Other North African are the Berbers, preferably called the Amazigh, hope I didn't butcher that name, and are Japhetic race, otherwise known as part of the Caucasians, and are directly connected to the Semitic and Afro-Asiatic languages, and the Natufian. So yeah, I kinda expected some. 3% Jewish, which it always specifies Ashkenazi. I expected some too, but it was surprising, I can tell you that much, as I knew PR had a substantial influx of Jews, and I bet they carry some Eastern hunter-gatherer DNA from Slavic and Germanic mixing. Overall, also Japhetic, but may appear like Neolithic farmers in some depictions. With Irish at 4% and Scottish at 2%, I was actually baffled. This might explain some red-haired people down my family. And then I read Puerto Rico had an influx of Irish and Scottish. Last update said I had some northwestern Europe. However, now it's nowhere to be seen upon the update. But you can rest assured that I believe I have also strong Celtic and Germanic blood coming from these people, who derive from bell beakers and corded ware. You know what's also fascinating? Not only Euskera, but I was also trying to learn Gaelic at one point. Kinda was obsessed with the history just like Spain, so there we have it. 2% Nigeria and 2% Mali. So that makes my sub-Saharan African highest at a whopping 15%. And wanted some Nigerian genes, but I don't think I am getting as much as their phenotypes, which are mainly coming from my three highest ethnicities, which I conclude after researching my own phenotypes. I may have some African in my height or even muscle density. For one, I believe my hairs in particular could be a mix of my three races, and if I were to imagine, I would say my hair is as straight as a Spanish or a Germanic, and easy to damage. 1% Indigenous Mexico. The first result suggested Central American DNA. Now this update that makes me 18% Native American. It said it can be as high as 2%. And I didn't expect it, but it makes sense historically and I absolutely love it. Órale pues guate pinche güey. No manches. Next is 1% Sardinia and 1% South Italy. So in my family, it is said that one of my great-great-grandparents was an Italian, maybe from Corsica, named Julio Marti Cabuli. So Marti is the last name meaning Mars, Marte, connecting that last name to even their ancient spirituality. So I guess I expected it. And he could have given me also the Cerdeña, but any other Mediterranean ethnicity may also be a carrier of that Sardinian ancestry. The company says I share 15 ethnicities. And in conclusion, it makes sense, aligns with history, and it was fun. It confirms what I already knew, only that I am a bit more black by blood than I originally thought. But I learned that from what a person can see, I have clear Taino features. but way stronger Caucasian features. Another fun fact is that by having 18% Native American DNA means that I can possibly be for real 11% East Asian and 7% Ancient North Eurasian. And that's from my Arahuaco heritage alone. I really loved to know my many ethnicities. If anything, I suggest that you can further understand your phenotype just like this. Most importantly, you can see the complexion harbored within the DNA of a Boricua. Are all Puerto Ricans the same? No. But we share mostly these exact lineages that makes us who we are. In my case, I just think it is impressive I have Taino physical features, even at 18% Native American, where even Boricuas with 24% Taino blood look white. That is it for now. This is Abaquetone Borique. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video.